Okay, so 2024 is all done and dusted, and actually it was a pretty brutal year for the property market. So looking at this chart right now from the National Association of Realtors, you can see that ending in November here, just a couple of months ago, total sales nationally was 4,150,000. So that was a huge drop from a couple of years ago, from 2021, 2020. So actually before, when it was a few years ago, saying around 6.5 million total sales all across the nation, this is a 35% drop. And as you can see, it has been slowly declining. I mean, the good news is it does look like things are picking up and people are just adjusting to the new normal. So this is nationally. So similar here in San Diego, from the San Diego Association of Realtors, for closed sales here, as you can see, historically closed sales. So the blue line is detached houses and the red line are attached, so condos and townhouses. So if you're looking, you can see here in the last couple months, I'll just punch this up so we can see it a little bit better here. So as you can see, for the last previous years, also going all the way back to 2012. Obviously, in the winter and the fall months, there's less activity, and then it picks up during the spring and summer. But in the last couple years, since 2022, sales have really dropped off. Obviously, because of mortgage rates and inflation. So mortgage rates in the last 2 years have more than doubled. And so as you can see here, and so I calculated for the detached and attached total sales in November, we're looking at about 1,600 sales for the month for November. And that is about a 40% drop from a few years ago. But in the last couple years, it has been very tough for buyers to be able to afford homes, especially with mortgage rates around 6, 7, and even 8% going up into October of 2023. Hey, real quick, I'm Jade Lee-Duffy here in San Diego, and I'm a full-time real estate agent. And if you're thinking about buying or selling a home, having a solid game plan is key. And I say this all the time, let's set up a quick Zoom call and we can go over your goals or what you're hoping to achieve. And my calendar link is always open. So go ahead and book a time. It's just right here. This is what it looks like. And I promise I'm really easy to talk to. And we'll cover everything from what's happening to housing prices in San Diego, what homes are selling for in your neighborhood, or if you want to go out and take a look at some homes, give me a call and then we can easily set that up. And I can help guide you through the whole process. And if you're wondering what your home is worth, home prices are shifting. So it's really important to stay informed. I offer an instant home evaluation. So just click the link below, and it's super easy and quick, and I do look at all the evaluations. So if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. My number is right here on the screen, so just give me a call or a text, and let's get back to the video. So this is from Mortgage News Daily, and this is a really interesting chart. So currently we're looking at just recently up until January 9th, just a few days ago, 2025, and the 30-year fixed rate mortgage, as you can see, is 6.9%, and as you know, so up until 2016, up until 2018, I mean, there was a dip there, but they were hovering around 3-4%, going up to almost 5%. And then when the pandemic started to spur activity in the housing market, obviously the feds dropped the federal funds rate, and that indirectly affected the mortgage lenders. And so, as you all know, that the mortgage rate just dropped all the way down to its lowest point in December of 2020, in the first year of the pandemic. So rates were down to 2.69%. But then, as you can see, how it correlated with the number of home sales. So the home sales were 6.85%. So 6.85 million home sales across the US. So this is a record, and this was way back in October of 2020. And so during the first couple years of the pandemic, the number of home sales were in the 6 million. So everybody was buying and selling at that point. But then when, as you can see here, when the mortgage rates started to climb in November, December of 2021, so 3 years ago, as they steeply climbed, then the number of home sales also dropped. So what's happening right now? As mortgage rates are still hovering around the sixes right now, at the high sixes, the number of home sales is still quite low, dropping to 35-40% less than a few years ago. So sellers want to hold on to their low mortgage rates. And then while they have made a lot of equity and gained a lot of equity in these past few years, if they need to buy a new home with financing, these higher mortgage rates, there is that locked in effect. So a lot of sellers are still staying put, and there is all this pent up demand. But buyers are getting used to this new normal. So here again from Mortgage News Daily, the mortgage applications, this shows how many buyers are out there actually applying for mortgages. So this is quite current, just right at the end here, January 6, 2025. So just last week, as you can see, it is slowly starting to tick up. Number of mortgage applications increasing, but it is holding quite steady, even though these mortgage rates are fluctuating. So what is going to happen this year in 2025? Mortgage rates do appear to kind of be slowly trickling down eventually by the end of the year. That's what experts are saying. And here's a chart from Realtor.com. As you can see here, the mortgage rates from July of 2023, so a year and a half ago, they were at 6.8%, climbed all the way up to 7.6% in September 2 years ago. And so they've kind of had a roller coaster ride here, as you can see. And so the high point in the last few months was in November. So that was around 6.7%. And now predictions are that mortgage rates will slowly decline. So here by the end of the year of November of this year, this prediction is 6.3%. So not into the fives, unfortunately. But if you are looking at home prices, even though mortgage rates are high, housing prices still keep going up. Not dramatically, not as dramatically as during the pandemic years, but they are still going up. So let's take a look at that chart. From Keeping Current Matters, here is a compilation of all the housing forecasts from all the big players. You've got Goldman Sachs, Wells Fargo, Fannie Mae, and then down to Freddie Mac. So home price appreciation percentage change. Goldman Sachs is predicting a 4.4% appreciation of home prices this year. But then it also goes down to Freddie Mac and Moody Analytics, it's less than 1% appreciation. But if you average these all out, it's coming to 2.6% appreciation. Obviously, this is nationwide. Now looking closer to home from the San Diego Association of Realtors, we'll look again. This is a total market overview from December. So last month, as you can see, a lot of the numbers are going up. So for new listings, more sellers are putting their homes on the market. I'm just going to increase this a little bit. So you can see here last month, there was a 3.6% increase from the year before. So not a huge amount of more houses on the market, but just a little bit. As you can see here, pending home sales is up 4.6% at 1,353, and median sales price, so that is up 5.4% to 880 across San Diego for both detached and attached homes. And the average sales price, so there is a big difference here. the average sales price is up 4.1% to $1.124 million. And while there are more closed sales and prices are going up, buyers are being more selective. So as you can see here, days on market. Last year, it took 31 days on average to sell a home, and right now it's gone up by 32% to 41 days. Buyers are still going out and buying houses, so they are being more selective and waiting for the right deal. And even though it's taking longer to sell a house, there are more houses being sold. The number of houses actually sold last month in December was up 23%. So there were 1,720 homes sold last month. So the market's still moving, it's just shifting a little bit. One key factor to watch is interest rates. Higher borrowing costs have made buyers more cautious, but San Diego remains in high demand. There is a constant stream of new residents, especially in the job sectors such as biotech, tech, and the military. So this fuels the demand for properties in San Diego throughout the year. And also, you gotta love our awesome weather. So now moving on to mortgage rates, what is happening with those pesky mortgage rates? They still keep to be staying around the mid to high sixes. Right now, as of January 10th, the 30-year fixed rate mortgage is at 6.7%, and it is very sticky. It doesn't seem to be moving very much, though the experts are saying that later on in the year, it will go down to the low sixes, but those 3% rates that we saw a few years ago during the pandemic doesn't look like they're coming back. So while 6.7 is pretty high compared to 3%, it is better than the high of 8% where it was in October of 2023. And recently it looks like mortgage rates have been inching up just slightly, and that is due to the uncertainty of the economy and also the new President Trump, that will be coming into office very soon. And investors and analysts are keeping a very close eye on inflation. It is still higher than the Fed's target rate of 2%. So any uncertainty and potential shifts in the market obviously is creating volatility in mortgage rates. So that's why they are still staying high in the high sixes. So what's going to happen later on in the year? Experts are predicting in 2025 that mortgage rates will slowly trend down, but policymakers, especially the feds, are being very cautious. So there was a federal funds rate cut in December, and experts and investors are wondering if there's going to be more cuts. It really just depends on how strong the economy is and if inflation is still rising or higher than what the feds want. If inflation slows, which would be good news for us and everyday people that are buying goods, there is a possibility of the mortgage rate going down into the low sixes or even possibly into the fives, but we'll just have to wait and see by the end of the year. So how does this affect you? If you are thinking about making a move this year, for buyers, people that are thinking about buying a property this year, high mortgage rates means higher payments, and affordability is still a concern. However, if you buy now and rates drop later on this year, there is a possibility, if it makes financial sense, that you could refinance and get a lower rate and a lower payment down the road. And if you're ready to buy, you might consider locking in a rate now because of that volatility. You just never know with these mortgage rates. And if you are a seller, the higher that mortgage rates go, fewer buyers will be able to afford buying a place. That means pricing your home competitively at a fair market price is essential to selling your house for the most money and quickly. I am seeing that houses that are priced well are selling quickly and there are multiple offers. But if it is just slightly above fair market price, then unfortunately they're sitting on the market and you don't want that to happen. So make sure you reach out to your expert realtor. And let's chat about the best strategy on putting your house on the market. So what's going to happen to home prices this year in 2025? Are they going to crash? Are they slowing down? Not likely. Prices have been going up in the last 5 years. They keep going up. There was double-digit appreciation during the pandemic, which was skyrocketing throughout the whole nation. But in the last couple of years, price growth has been in the single digits. So right now we're looking at around 6.5% across San Diego, but it is very specific to your neighborhood. There are some neighborhoods that the appreciation is close to 10%, 9%, and obviously there are other neighborhoods or zip codes in San Diego that are 3 or 4%. So it just depends on your neighborhood. Experts do anticipate that prices will continue to rise, but at a much slower pace. And with inventory increasing, buyers will have more room to negotiate. Unless we see a huge economic shift, San Diego will remain competitive with low inventory, much less inventory than before the pandemic. So in 2019, almost double the amount of inventory there is now. And also in the luxury market, there is still huge demand in La Jolla and Del Mar. And also mid-range homes between 600 to 900,000 is seeing more competition for many buyers. Hey, thanks so much for staying till the end of the video. This was definitely a longer one and detailed with a lot of numbers and charts. So if you have any questions about your specific situation, your house or your neighborhood, please don't hesitate to reach out. I'd love to hear from you. My number is right here on the screen. And then also you can book a call with me. The details are in the description below. And yeah, just if you have any questions, give me a call. Also, you probably haven't heard from me in a while. I've taken a little break from YouTube, but now I'm back and you're going to be seeing me more regularly. I'm going to be having more housing updates every week or every other week. And then also with some neighborhood tours around Poway and the surrounding neighborhoods. So if you'd like to see any specific videos on certain topics, let me know, put your comments below and let me know of what you think about this video. I'd love to hear from you. Okay. Also, if you like this video, please check out this one or check out this one.